Hello, dear AI enthusiasts. In the fast-paced world of artificial intelligence, a remarkable turning point occurred on March 16, 2025. Baidu, one of China's largest technology corporations, has caused a sensation with the release of two new AI models named ERNIE 4.5 and ERNIE X1. What makes this release so special is not just the technical capability of these models, but above all, their accessibility. Baidu is offering them completely free of charge. This event could mark the beginning of a new phase in the democratization of advanced AI technologies. ERNIE 4.5 is described as a multimodal foundation model, a versatile base model that can process not only text, but also images and other forms of data simultaneously. Multimodal specifically means here that the model can understand and coherently interpret information from different input forms, so-called modalities, such as text, images, and possibly audio. A practical example would be the analysis of a diagram with accompanying text, where the model comprehensively understands both sources of information. It is said to have improved language capabilities, logic generation, and even a high EQ that enables it to understand satire and complex cultural references. ERNIE X1, on the other hand, is designed as a deep thinking model, specialized in logical thinking and complex reasoning tasks, which means it is particularly optimized for multi-step problem solving, logical conclusions, and mathematical challenges, similar to Deepseek's R1 model. According to benchmarks published by Baidu itself, ERNIE outperforms GPT 4.0 in several areas and achieves an overall rating of 77.77% for multimodal tasks, compared to 73.92% for GPT 4.0. It should be critically noted here that these figures have not yet been verified by independent third parties, and companies naturally tend to create favorable test conditions for their own products. Particularly highlighted is the performance on DocVQA, a test for understanding complex documents, where it allegedly achieved over 90%. DocVQA is a standardized benchmark that measures an AI model's ability to answer questions related to the content of documents, from forms and invoices to complex technical reports. This capability could be particularly valuable for companies that process large volumes of text documents, such as contracts or research reports. ERNIE X1 is touted with an average benchmark score of 79.14%, and compared to heavyweights like Deepseek V03, ChatGPT 4.0, and even GPT 4.5. Notably, ERNIE X1 is said to outperform GPT 4.5 on CMMLU, Chinese Massive Multitask Language Understanding, a comprehensive test of general knowledge understanding in Chinese covering 67 different subject areas, on Chinese Simple QA, and even on Math 500. The Math 500 benchmark includes complex mathematical problems requiring multi-step calculations and proofs, exactly the type of tasks where reasoning models can show their strengths. Again, these benchmark results should be viewed with caution. Baidu also claims that ERNIE X1 delivers similar performance to Deepseek R1, but at half the cost. Regarding pricing, ERNIE is offered with costs starting at 55 cents per 1 million tokens and X1 at $28 per 1 million tokens, a fraction of what competitors charge. It is particularly emphasized that ERNIE 4.5 could potentially cost only 1% of the price of GPT 4.5. The actual input and output costs for ERNIE 4.5 can be as low as 0.4 yuan per 1,000 tokens for input and 0.16 yuan per 1,000 tokens for output. The decision to offer these models for free is described as the democratization of AI. According to Baidu, they want to break down the barriers between ordinary people and advanced AI technology. This could have far-reaching implications, especially for researchers, developers, and small businesses that previously could not afford expensive AI tools. Baidu's PR materials tell the stories of Siri, a researcher in Indonesia who struggled with limited resources, and Arti, a software developer in Jakarta who wanted to develop AI-powered applications but failed due to costs. Although these examples were presumably carefully selected by Baidu to strengthen their message, they nevertheless represent a real potential. For people in regions with limited resources, free, powerful AI models could indeed open up transformative possibilities. This development fits into a larger picture of AI competition in China. Tencent released a model in February that allegedly responds faster than Deepseek. Alibaba has partnered with Apple for AI on Apple devices in China and plans to invest about 380 billion yuan, approximately $52 billion in AI. ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, is active in the market with its own chatbot. The Chinese government is actively promoting AI industrial centers in cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangdong, with the latter offering subsidies of up to 8 million yuan per project. According to forecasts, China's AI sector could reach a value of 811 billion yuan by 2028. The question, however, is whether Baidu can maintain this pace and free access. The development and maintenance of advanced AI models is expensive. Although Baidu recorded a decent financial result in 2024 with a 26% increase in cloud income, there was also a 6% decline in non-GAAP net income. This suggests possible challenges if the company continues to offer free AI models. Nevertheless, the initial response seems promising. According to Baidu, millions of users have tried the ERNIE bot since it became free. Developers have already begun testing ERNIE's multimodal capabilities to analyze, for example, X-rays in combination with a patient's medical history or to interpret charts for financial analyses. There is also speculation about how Western companies might respond. Deepseek's success with cost-effective models has already led to a wave of new releases. OpenAI might feel pressured to accelerate the release of the rumored GPT-5 or find more competitive pricing. However, there are also criticisms and challenges to consider. Access to the models is currently not as user-friendly as with some competitors. The website is mainly in Chinese, although you can receive answers in English. The response speed seems slower than competitors like ChatGPT. There are also questions about the long-term viability of the free model and whether Baidu might introduce premium tiers in the future. To practically examine the performance of the models, tests were conducted. In a test to create a self-playing snake game in HTML, both ERNIE and X1 delivered functional results, with the game generated by X1 running surprisingly fast and smoothly, even better than the versions from ChatGPT and Deepseek. However, there were also problems. The first request to X1 failed and had to be regenerated, and the response times were significantly slower than ChatGPT. It remains to be seen how sustainable Baidu's approach is and how competitors will respond. But March 16, 2025 could indeed be remembered as a turning point in the history of AI development, the day when a major player openly questioned the notion that one must pay a lot of money for advanced AI. Behind the seemingly altruistic democratization of AI are, of course, also strategic business interests. By providing their models for free, Baidu can build a massive user base, collect valuable usage data, and potentially monetize premium features later, a strategy we have observed with many digital platforms. Another important aspect is Baidu's announcement to make some of their ERNIE models available as open source from June 30th. This follows the example of Deepseek and could be seen as part of an arms race to win more developers and users. The impacts could extend far beyond the Chinese market. If powerful AI models become available at a fraction of the previous costs or even for free, this could fundamentally change expectations regarding AI costs and accessibility. Teachers in remote regions could use ERNIE to create better lessons, local hospitals could evaluate X-rays faster, and small businesses could employ AI-powered automation without having to acquire expensive licenses. For AI enthusiasts, this development offers both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, it opens up access to powerful tools that may have been unaffordable before. On the other hand, it could change the landscape and create new competitive dynamics. It will be exciting to observe how this situation develops and what long-term impacts it will have on the AI industry. In any case, the release of ERNIE 4.5 and X1 marks a significant moment in AI history, a moment that could change the way we think about access to and the spread of advanced AI technology. It is a clear signal that the AI revolution is not just happening in the laboratories of large corporations, but is increasingly reaching the hands of people around the world. If you like this update, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you activate the bell, you'll even be informed when we upload a new video. I hope to see you next time. Until then, stay real.